Star Wars used to be the end-all, be-all in space sci-fi. But in the years since the original trilogy, others have rushed in to fill the void left by its waning popularity. Whether you're loving new Star Wars or hating it, you'd probably still love more of that old-school Star Wars vibe. Luckily, there's a way to get it. I'm Josh Tyler for Giant Freakin' Robot, and we're ranking the 18 best sci-fis that are most like Star Wars without actually being Star Wars. For all of its faults, Jupiter Ascending was a throwback in 2015 to the 90s style of sci-fi that tossed you into a strange, wonderful world. The film doesn't work. It's barely coherent, it's visually confusing, and the acting is questionable. And yet, Jupiter Ascending dared to be weird. It tried to do something different, and a decade of sanitized, by-the-numbers sci-fi later, it's worth checking out for anyone sick and tired of movies developed by committee. Number 17. Zack Snyder wanted to make a Star Wars film, but Disney said no, so he went to Netflix and made Rebel Moon. Sometimes it really is that simple. George Lucas used Akira Kurosawa's Hidden Fortress as an inspiration for A New Hope. Snyder used Kurosawa's Seven Samurai as inspiration for Rebel Moon. Adapting Seven Samurai is always a recipe for success. It's a great story. A few holding out against the many, it always works. It's also one of Netflix's most expensive original movies. The streaming giant gave Snyder a blank check, and it looks like it. Rebel Moon has a sense of style Star Wars has lacked since the original trilogy. You should check out Rebel Moon once, if for no other reason than to see Zack Snyder's vision for Star Wars. But honestly, it's a bit of a drag, with uneven pacing, and the patron saint of bad movies, Charlie Hunnam.
I don't like bounty hunters.
I didn't ask. And to be clear, I don't like bounty hunters either.
So you a gun for hire?
No, that's not my thing.
Seriously, Pacific Rim and Sons of Anarchy were great, but that's it. You can also experience the sequel, The Scar Giver, which was, so good that Netflix yanked the blank check out of Snyder's hands before he could utter the words trilogy. Number 16. Few people in Hollywood can match the visual style of French director Luc Besson. He's brought to life The Fifth Element and Scarlett Johansson's Lucy. But his most beautiful film is Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Based on a French comic series, the film is packed full with stunning visuals. Each world on its own will be the highlight of any other movie, but here it's just scene 5. Dane DeHaan and Cara Delvini lead the cast as Federation soldiers sucked into a decades-old conspiracy around a missing planet. The massive space station Alpha is home to over 3,000 alien species, and keeping the peace between all of them is a dangerous balancing act. In Valerian, the focus isn't on Babylon 5-style politics, it's on exploring different worlds and coming across a new alien species every 10 minutes, making the film a visual masterpiece. If your favorite part of Star Wars is the constant parade of unique and strange background aliens, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets is the perfect movie for you. Number 15. The success of Star Wars in 1977 took Hollywood by surprise and started a scramble for the next big hit. Universal Pictures pulled the old Buck Rogers license out of mothballs and turned it into a television series. But then, 6 months after the series had debuted, the television pilot hit theaters as a standalone movie. That sounds convoluted, but then again, so does everything when it comes to Buck Rogers in the 25th century. A film that put trade negotiations front and center decades before The Phantom Menace. NASA astronaut Buck Rogers comes out of suspended animation in the 25th century and immediately is in the middle of trouble between the remaining humans on Earth, living in New Chicago, and the Draconians, an alien species secretly plotting to conquer the planet.
Captain, bear in mind that you're a captive of a dynasty that has conquered 3/4 of the universe. You will answer carefully if you value your life.
The movie is, again, a pilot for the 2-season television series that started out with Buck as a defender of New Chicago, and in season 2, he roamed the galaxy with his crew to find the lost tribes of humanity. If you were to match the Star Wars prequels against Flash Gordon, you'd get Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Number 14. If your favorite part of Star Wars was the Galactic Senate from the prequels, then there's a 90s sci-fi series just for you. Babylon 5 puts the focus on intergalactic politics in a way no show has before or since. set on a space station that houses countless alien species, all with their own goals, motivations, and ancient grudges. It's a sci-fi for the most hardcore sci-fi fans. The show starts off with an attempted assassination on the Vorlon ambassador Kosh, and Babylon 5's commander, Jeffrey Sinclair, is the prime suspect. It's a quaint beginning for a show that would eventually culminate in one of the best sci-fi wars ever shown on a television budget. Unlike every other show on this list, Babylon 5 was plotted out from the very beginning to tell a single, cohesive story spread out over 5 seasons. That right there puts it above The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, 2 feature films that couldn't agree on what story the sequel trilogy was trying to tell. Number 13. It was one of the largest box office bombs in history. For decades, it was the butt of jokes. But Krull had the last laugh. Combining science fiction with fantasy, a simple rescue the princess plot alongside one of the coolest weapons in movie history, Krull has become a cult classic. After the Beast interrupts Prince Colwyn's wedding to Princess Lissa, he sets off on a quest to win her back. The only thing in his way is the Beast's mountainous black fortress and an army of slaves. All Colwyn has is a band of magicians, thieves, including a young Liam Neeson, and a Cyclops. The special effects don't hold up today, the plot is as basic as it gets, but there's no denying that Krull is a fun movie. Sometimes you don't need 30 minutes of world building and exposition, all you need is a quest to slay an evil warlord and rescue a princess. Number 12. Say sci-fi western, and most people think of The Mandalorian or Firefly. But there has to be someone, at least one person out there, who thinks of Killjoys. The Canadian sci-fi original series aired for 5 seasons from 2014 to 2019, and you didn't watch a single one. Dutch, Johnny, and Davin work as bounty hunters, and these 3 are professionals, so they don't disintegrate any of their targets. Looking at you, Boba Fett. Over the course of 50 episodes, the trio unravels the mysteries of the universe, upends the delicate political structure, and end up saving the entire universe a few times. When Star Wars fans were excited over the video game Star Wars Outlaws or the canceled 1313, what they wanted was a game that played like Killjoys. It's a sci-fi western about characters who weren't exactly heroes, but unlike that other show, this one was able to tell a complete story. That and you have to love a show that uses the name Team Awesome Force. Number 11. It's hard to remember now, but for most of the 80s and 90s, Star Wars wasn't a pop culture juggernaut. It was something nerds loved. During that dark period, studios tried to create their own Star Wars-style sci-fi franchises, and of all of them, Stargate found the most success. It all began with the 1995 film by Roland Emmerich that sent the US military through a portal to do battle with an Egyptian god. Unlike other movies on this list that throw an endless string of nonsense names and deep, unfathomable lore at viewers within the first 30 seconds, Stargate takes its time to explain what's going on. There's a strange portal, they go through it, why it's important, can Ra invade Earth from his side, and teases why the aliens all look like they came out of ancient Egypt. Stargate introduced moviegoers to a universe of infinite possibilities, and for once it paid off with the launch of the television franchise. Between Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, and Stargate Universe, there are 17 seasons of amazing sci-fi adventure television waiting to be discovered. Best of all, there's now a new series coming to Amazon Prime. The Stargate is opening again, and now it's time to step through. Number 10. It's every kid's dream. After countless hours playing a video game, it becomes real, and you get to save the universe. 1984's The Last Starfighter is pure wish fulfillment, and it's awesome. Like Star Wars A New Hope, it follows the classic hero's journey format, only instead of growing up in the desert, our future hero, fighter pilot, grows up in a trailer park. Teenager Alex Rogan earns the high score in the arcade game Starfighter, not realizing it was developed by an undercover alien to locate warriors to save his planet. Alex goes from living in a trailer park to flying a real spaceship against real aliens in the span of 48 hours. The greatest tragedy about The Last Starfighter is that we never received a legacy sequel. 40 years later, video games are more popular than ever before. A modern-day remake would be a license to print money. Sci-fi can be wish fulfillment that exists for no other reason than to be fun and make you happy. To this day, nothing hits that mark quite like The Last Starfighter. Number 9. One of Bruce Willis's best movies, The Fifth Element launched the career of Mila Jovovich, helped turn Chris Tucker into a star, and it helped prove that a well-written, visually stunning sci-fi could become a blockbuster even in the jaded culture of the 90s. By 1997, caring about things and earnestness was considered uncool, which became a plot point in Luc Besson's sci-fi magnum opus. How The Fifth Element earned over $290 million at the box office and millions more through DVD sales should be studied by upcoming filmmakers. The Fifth Element turned a futuristic cabbie into an unlikely savior when the reincarnation of a forgotten alien species lands on the hood of his cab.
She dove off.
Together, the two have to stop the great evil from consuming Earth by overcoming Zord, a greedy billionaire who might be the creepiest sci-fi villain of the 90s thanks to Gary Oldman's scenery-chewing performance. Few films to this day are as manic as The Fifth Element, which deserves to be right up there on every sci-fi fan's Mount Rushmore, and in the process, delivers some of the same kinds of space thrills as Star Wars. Number 8. Flash. Besides the amazing soundtrack provided by Queen, Flash Gordon is the most American sci-fi movie you'll ever come across. A quarterback saves the universe using his football skills to take down a unit of elite guards? How awesome is that? Star Wars was inspired by the serials of the 1930s, and Flash Gordon was one of those serials. But it started out as a comic strip, and you can tell. The villain's name is Ming the Merciless. All the visual designs are old school, pre-Star Wars sci-fi, and again, the hero's name is Flash Gordon. This is pure camp, and that's before you get to the legendary overacting of Brian Blessed as Volton.
Maybe I'd do it different if I had it over again.
Then fight!
But there's no way I can help a man who's dead!
The tropes, designs, and plot beats of Flash Gordon make it required viewing for all sci-fi fans, and it has the same DNA as Star Wars. You can't appreciate how far science fiction has come if you don't know where it all started. Flash Gordon is a love letter to the genre's pulp roots, and honestly, you wish more films were made today in the retro, futuristic style of the film. Ming the Merciless may be corny, but the man's riz is unmatched. Number 7. In a just world, John Carter would have been the start of a retro, futuristic sci-fi franchise to rival Star Wars in scale and scope. Taylor Kitsch should have become a superstar. John Carter is a fantastic movie that bombed hard because Disney had no idea how to market it. Adapting the classic sci-fi pulp novel, A Princess of Mars by Edgar Rice Burroughs, the same man who created Tarzan, John Carter looks fantastic, and the story of a Civil War soldier sent to Mars is a straight-up crowd pleaser. Unfortunately, the limited crowds that went to see it weren't enough to make it a success. John Carter's Mars vistas stretch on forever, but that beauty came with a hefty price tag. The film needed to earn $600 million to break even. It earned $300 million. Disney lost hundreds of millions of dollars and decided that instead of turning John Carter into a sci-fi franchise, they'd just go out and buy one. 3 years later, Disney bought Star Wars. Number 6. Star Wars has shifted gears in the last few years to become a streaming franchise. It's playing catch-up behind the 90s and early 2000s series Farscape, which perfected the serialized formula of ragtag heroes going up against an oppressive government. Farscape is clearly influenced by the original trilogy, right down to having Jim Henson's Creature Works provide the puppets. But that's not a bad thing. Farscape starts off with human astronaut John Crichton surviving a trip through a wormhole and winding up on the far side of the galaxy. He quickly learns to get along with the escaped convicts on board a living spaceship, the Moya, as they try to stay one step ahead of the corrupt peacekeepers. Later on, the leather-clad villain Scorpius comes after Crichton for his hidden knowledge of wormholes, And this all leads to Crichton being split into two separate versions. An imaginary Scorpius living in his head, the organic spaceship giving birth, and a constant struggle to survive when it feels like the entire universe is out to get them. If you liked the original trilogy, and even if you liked Guardians of the Galaxy, you need to fire up Farscape and start binging it right now. This is everything fans wanted out of a Star Wars streaming series and never got. Congratulations, you've reached the top 5 and things are about to get really fun. Keep in mind that this list is ranked based on 2 criteria: how much something is like Star Wars and also how good it is. It's an average of the 2 factors, which can result in all kinds of ranking weirdness, especially in the lower levels of this list. But the top 5 is crystal clear. These are the 5 best Star Wars sci-fis that aren't Star Wars at all. Number 5. Remember when Chewbacca was carrying C-3PO on his back? How the mismatched characters played off each other. Turn that into a survival story on an alien planet where everything is trying to kill them, and you get Predator Badlands, the latest in the long-running franchise. Deck is a predator, runt, who heads off to a planet in order to hunt down the apex predator. A Weyland Yutani android is the only survivor of an encounter with the beast. Only the top half of her body survived. So Deck straps her to his back, and together, they navigate a world where everything is trying to kill them. It has the feel of a Star Wars novel in the best way possible. It's easy to imagine a Wookiee and a droid having to navigate a planet similar to Genin. Predator Badlands lacks the size and scope of a Star Wars film, but it's an absolute blast from start to finish. All it takes is one setting, 2 characters, and a horde of bizarre alien life forms that make the Rancor look like a puppy. Number 4. The Mandalorian was praised for taking Star Wars in a bold new direction. Space Western. Well, why not take some time and enjoy this series that puts space westerns on the map? Firefly is still the greatest one-season sci-fi series of all time, and the sequel film, Serenity, is the perfect ending to the crew's story. Out on the edge of the known galaxy, Captain Malcolm Reynolds and his crew pick up odd jobs carrying cows, protecting a brothel, whatever they have to do to get enough gas to keep flying. Imagine the adventures of a smuggler Han Solo under the watchful eye of the Empire, and that's Firefly, only with no aliens, more cowboy hats, and more jokes.
Canton don't allow guns in their town.
Yes, sir. That's why I ain't strapping one to my hip.
No, that's why you ain't strapping one anywhere.
Number 3. David Lynch's Dune is an underrated masterpiece, but Denis Villeneuve's modern adaptation turned the classic sci-fi novel into a blockbuster. 12 years before Star Wars, author Frank Herbert took sci-fi fans to the planet Arrakis, the center of intergalactic politics and trade, thanks to the miracle mineral spice. Imagine if Tatooine was important for any reason other than its abundance of Skywalkers, and that's Arrakis. It even has a chosen one destined to reshape the galaxy. Paul Atreides is the hero that Anakin Skywalker wishes he could be. Paul liberates his planet, unites his people, has twins destined to be even greater than him, and doesn't become a villain. In the first 2 movies, anyway. Star Wars is more of a space fantasy than hard sci-fi, but Dune isn't afraid to get weird. Later books include a human sandworm hybrid who lives for thousands of years and rules over the galaxy. Oddly, that's not as strange as it gets. Number 2. A grounded, hard sci-fi series might not seem like it would have much in common with Star Wars, but The Expanse centers around a ragtag group of misfits on a medium-sized ship flying around saving the galaxy. It's based on a series of books set in a not-that-far-off future where humanity has colonized the solar system. Earth, Mars, and the asteroid belt are locked in political tension, and a crew of unlikely allies gets pulled into events that reshape civilization. Despite being a totally different type of space sci-fi from Star Wars, The Expanse pulls off the crew of the Millennium Falcon against the universe vibe better than anything has since The Empire Strikes Back. Ride shotgun with the crew of the Rocinante as they battle to save the solar system on one of the best sci-fi shows ever produced. Number 1. Guardians of the Galaxy is so much fun, it turned a dancing tree into the hottest Christmas toy. Comic fans knew how strange and bizarre the cosmic side of Marvel was, But in 2014, the general public took a trip to nowhere and had their minds blown for the first time since they stepped foot inside a hive of scum and villainy. The colorful cast even brings to mind the original trilogy, except both Star-Lord and Rocket are Han Solo. Gamora is Lea's intrusive thoughts given physical form. Drax is C-3PO, Groot is R2-D2, and Mantis is there.
You are horrifying to look at, yes.
The Guardians trilogy is among the very best of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and any one of them could be someone's favorite movie. And you know what? Sure, it's fun and it's awesome. Each one of them reveals another strange corner of the galaxy, and while, yes, Adam Warlock was wasted, the thrill of what comes next is only comparable to the original trilogy. Before you jump into the comments to share your ranking, keep in mind our list was ranked based on which entries most capture the Star Wars feel, while at the same time delivering the best possible spectacle and story. It's not just a ranking of which is best. If it were, then Babylon 5 would be a lot closer to the top. And if you enjoyed taking this Star Wars that isn't Star Wars ride with us, do all that YouTube stuff to support this video and the channel. We're real sci-fi nerds doing real content creation in the face of an artificially generated onslaught. And we can only keep going if you join this channel and have our back. Until next time, I'm Josh, and you've been watching Giant Freaking Robot.
What are you doing?
Dance off, bro. Me and you.